Hello everybody and welcome. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Today we are talking to Richard and Rebecca Haley, second generation design studio. I'm a great friend of your father's. It's lovely to see you here at Home Textile. Last year we caught up on trends. So over to you two. What's going on in the industry and what are the hottest trends right now?
That's always a tricky question, isn't it?
Yeah, we always found this question hard to answer. But I've personally been seeing, so what we've got on the back wall, this kind of like oriental, and not necessarily just oriental, but kind of layered garden kind of coming through as that on the mural side.
Yes.
That's a beautiful, beautiful design. You're talking about a lot of artisan skill and drawing technique going in here as well. So there's a lot of depth. Would you think that people going back to artisan craft, going
Definitely.
to depth, the
Yes.
technique, the beautiful
Yes,
hand-painted feel of stuff?
Absolutely.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
So I think we've come off the back of for a while now of having that kind of flat graphic and having that motifs that just sit on a blank ground, and I think people want to see kind of texture and like, as you say, depth.
And I think as we've obviously started to move a lot more digital, and more people are doing digital now as well, it has the capability to print all these extra marks and textures and paintwork, and when it's upscale as well in mural form, it just comes to life. So I think it's kind of has moved that way.
It's great. It's great to see that pattern of design coming back through, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Don't rub out the pencil marks. Leave them in. Those are all the nuances that mean that somebody handcrafted that with love.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's playing into the kind of the maximal approach to things right now. I think maximalism has just kind of gone up and up the ladder, hasn't it? It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I think like you've seen kind of designs like this not just sitting on one wall. People want to wrap them around the whole room now and be really daring.
Yeah. And I was going to say, when you were going back to saying all those imperfections, I think now we're in the AI kind of era. I think
more of a kickback.
I think it's gonna. Well, we kind of think that maybe it's actually going to go to the strength of. Actually, no. I want to see how this human behind this piece of artwork has actually created it, and not just press a button. Yeah, the hallmarks of that. And I think I think now, I think that's just because AI is now.
It's like what we anticipate that's going to be the kickback. It's going to be people want to see that those, as you say, the pencil marks. Because you're not going to get that through it. AI is going to be a blanket average of what's out there, a polished average, whereas we think that arts and crafts can even more.
It's the integrity, isn't it? The authority, the artisan authority and the integrity. That's what you it's like a subliminal. You don't kind of realise that you're looking for that, but as a human you do.
It is. Entirely. It's not a conscious decision.
No.
But you'll be seeking it out, and you'll recognise it when you see it, and I think people will gravitate to it.
You gravitate to it because it's a perfect imperfection, isn't it? It's really odd how we do that. Tell me, how are things doing? Are you doing a lot in the wall covering market? You're still doing a lot in the home interiors market? Drapes, bed linen, all those sorts of things. Which markets are on the up? Which ones are?
Certainly for us, we sell to most markets, as you know, but like wallpaper is probably our main area, but especially murals. It's partly the reason why we started our own brand of murals as well. So we're separate to the studio. We've seen not only our designs doing well in the marketplace for mural buyers, but there's been a kind of ferocity to kind of buy our designs, and we've had buyers come and buying heaps of murals and not quibbling on price even. And it just feels like a growing market, a new market as well.
Thinking about it, just as you've asked that question, I've noticed this Timetex speaking to a few new customers that are now starting to branch into. They've said, I think we need to start doing murals now. Even though everyone had kind of started jumping on the bandwagon, I think now I've noticed anyway. I've spoke to a handful of people where they say, "Oh, well, we do repeats," but now we're thinking we want to kind of make that transition.
It's a high profit sector of the market, isn't it? Really. And when you're selling a mural, you're selling it at a certain size, so it's by default a certain price point for a certain price per metre, isn't it really?
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
I think murals coming in has been, it's almost been like a reset button on that front, because really like repeating designs. They've like followed like a legacy of like prices, and you know, really people are steeped in the prices from 30 years ago. Whereas the nice thing about murals coming, like I say, it's been a clean slate, and it's more kind of realistic. Which is, it's got to happen because no one can keep operating on dated price structures, because it just doesn't work for anyone ultimately, not in the long term.
No,
so
it doesn't.
Like
There's no growth. There's no
exactly,
growth at all.
Yeah.
I think the other thing from my perspective that's growing the industry too is the availability of substrates.
Yes.
So, and you will have seen that with your own wallpaper brand. You know, the ability to print on a velvet for a wall covering, or a non-woven flock, or whatever it is. You know, you really. Because when you design for a fabric. You know that design is going to go onto a gorgeous linen, and it's going to bounce light and do things in a different way.
Yeah.
When we first started doing digital wall coverings, it was all very boring, wasn't it? It was all onto flat surfaces. Now you're echoing the surface to bring the best of your design to life, which is great. Bouncing light around and creating ambience. Yeah. So you have your own third-party line now.
Yes.
Selling through you're doing it through your own website, or how's it?
Yeah, own website.
Fantastic! That's so exciting.
Yeah,
Great. Good luck to you.
Going just a bit over a year now, and you know that we've been talking about doing it for years. We just did an Instagram post recently where you mentioned that
it's coming out soon.
It's coming out soon. We basically touched on the fact that we nearly went for it 7 or 8 years ago, but then we've finally kind of.
But again, we were going to do repeats then, because it was before murals. Whereas now, I think we've waited for the right moment.
Yeah, exactly.
We sometimes you wonder whether had we done it 7 years ago, it might have been a false start, and we might have never tried again. But this has felt like the right time.
I think you'd have done okay 7 years ago, but I think you're maximising the volume, aren't you? It's all about SEO as well. And for you guys, you've got a main design job. You're having your own brand is a fantastic addition, isn't it, to Hayley?
Yes,
to the Hayley concept, really.
And
it underpins and supports what you're doing. Also helps you pick the winners as well, because you know what's selling.
Which
is
great.
Although
it's a funny one, that though, because there is still a degree of like our kind of values in by Hayley's, our brand is we want to do like awesome work. Not necessarily
what we want to do. We're not necessarily going to go off trends on what we want to just do, whatever we think is amazing. We don't want to be necessarily drawn to what's commercial.
No.
Necessarily. No. Obviously, that's part of the decision for us. But the main priority, it's amazing. Like every design we do is going to be, like for example, they're all repeat at 8.5 meters wide if they're 3 meters high, so they're real statement pieces.
They're beautiful pieces of art, aren't they, in their own right, actually.
Exactly.
That's great.
They're real statement pieces.
Well, congrats to both of you. It's lovely to see you as always. Carry on with that paintbrush. It's wonderful. Absolutely beautiful as always.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.